Hey guys, I want to make a new video going over my updated Lightning Strike character. Now this character is extremely strong. I want to go over all the updates. I also want to give some gameplay showcase. But yeah, essentially the TLDR is where 11 link weapon, mirror ring, very good helmet, gloves, and chest, all pretty much perfect now. And yeah, better jewels and all that. So let me show some map gameplay showcase. So first, this is like a semi-infinite Vaal Lightning Strike. To show this off, I'll do a Legion map. And it's not infinite. I'm not using Hateforge or anything. I don't think Hateforge is needed for mapping. It's pretty good for like bosses, for like billings DPS, but for mapping, I don't think it's needed. And this enchant alone is enough to essentially have a semi-infinite Vaal Lightning Strike just for mapping, and you'll see what I mean. So I'll just do a standard tier 16 showcase and also show Uber boss right after, just so you can see DPS. But yeah, it's pretty much semi-infinite, as I'll pretty much only press Vaal Lightning Strike in this map. And as you can see, it'll constantly refill back up. Oh, and can be quite laggy. It's my first map of the day, so yeah, a little bit more laggy than it should be. But yeah, as you can see, it's legit like semi-infinite. You can just keep pressing Vaal Lightning Strike only. The enchant alone is good enough. You don't really need the whole Hateforge setup for mapping, at least. You do need it for bossing, but I'm playing this character as a regular Lightning Strike for stuff like bosses, as you will see in the boss showcase. This one off in this Legion, but you know, pretty standard stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much like infinite for mapping. You can just pretty much only press Vaal Lightning Strike for mapping. You don't have to press regular Lightning Strike at all. Sometimes you do, but yeah, it is very strong. Can cause you to lag if your PC is not good enough, so you know, keep in mind of that. Yeah, I just want to show this off just to show like the dagger enchant alone is all you really need. You don't need a Hateforge setup, and I'm not planning on going Hateforge with all the issues it does cause. So here's the boss damage real quick, and this is going to be no Vaal Lightning Strike, as I don't have a way to generate soul charges on a boss, but the DPS is still very good, and you can get more DPS in this if you want. The boss probably dying like 3 or 4 seconds. It does get 80% DR for the first, I don't know, like 3 seconds or something, and then yeah. That's the boss showcase. Still dies really fast without having the whole infinite Vaal Lightning Strike stuff going on. Those Uber Exarch. So let's go over the character now. I guess also ID this jewel. See? So yeah, I'll bring up the POB here. Now I do have 2 POBs. I have one with Headhunter and one with Mage Blood. The Mage Blood version is twice EHP of this one. You have double the max hit of Elemental and like 50% more Fizz max hit. So if you do want to play at Mage Blood, you're pretty much unkillable, I would say, for mapping. It's extremely tanky at Mage Blood. So yeah, let's go over my POB real quick. The main changes are this 11 link weapon, crit strikes, faster attacks, crit damage, almost damage attack skills, and socketed skills deal 40% more damage. Within a crafted, hits can't be evaded. Now it's 11 links because 3 links go on your squire, 3 links go on your weapon, and then the weapon itself has essentially 5 links for a total of 11 with hits can't be evaded. So the big reason why I go hits can't be evaded is to avoid as much map mods as possible. I think this crafted mod is extremely underrated. This allows you to do stuff like reduced aura maps, where if you're relying on level 20 position to cap your accuracy, if you do reduce aura, your accuracy goes to garbage. Also allows you to do the negative like 44% reduced accuracy maps. Once again, if you only have 100% accuracy and you do a negative 44% reduced accuracy map, your damage goes complete in the gutter. So this mod alone just makes tier 17s a lot more bearable. You can roll more maps. You don't have to skip as many map modifiers. You know, these horrible map modifiers that you might have to skip, you can just do with hits can't be evaded, or it might otherwise tank your damage. Yeah, this is why I went for this weapon. Very strong. If you are wondering, this is a mirror tier weapon. You don't need a weapon exactly like this. You can craft a 10 link weapon for probably roughly 200 divines, and that includes the enchant right here, maybe 250 divines. So keep that in mind. It is very expensive either way, but if you do want to craft a 10 link one, you can do it without mirroring this weapon. Squire, of course, this one over, 11 link setup. Helmet. So big thing here is we're using 2 abyss sockets, one the helmet, one the gloves, and all abyss sockets on our skill tree. Essentially abyss stacking, because your weapon does not have flat damage, you have to make up the flat damage on all your jewels, which we do get quite a bit. So yeah, abyss stack on the helmet. I will leave a crafting guide in the notes section here, by the way. It won't be done right now, but I will have it done by the time this video is uploaded or shortly after. So if you are wondering how to craft all this gear, I will leave it there. It will be for the helmet, chest, and gloves. So yeah, Bissac on a helmet, nothing special here, just +1 pierce and then reduce mana cost attacks. So you do need a high reduce mana cost attacks and implicit. As you can see, our Lightning Strike is 20 mana because it has so many links, so it has so many mana cost multipliers. You can also do some different stuff here as well. I was thinking about getting Fizz taken as on the implicit and getting reduced mana efficiency on the explicit, and then you can also get Fizz taken as on the chest as well, and then get Fortify and Tree. There are some options here. This build, I would say, it's pretty much complete, but there are some variants you can do. Yeah. Chest armor next is where we get our Fortify. Melee hits have a chance to fortify. Increase effect on non-curse auras is very weak for this build, but there's nothing else to get, and it does help overcap our res. So a main goal of this build was to essentially do as many tier 17 map mods as possible, and one of the ways you do that is by overcapping your resist. So in my version, I do have a resist headhunter, and this essentially allows me to click either altars with no issue, because either altars to give you like negative 50% resist. So if you don't have over 50% catch resist, then click those altars will most likely kill you. Yeah. In a regular version with no resist headhunter, you're still overcapped, but not as much. So keep that in mind. Body armor has Fizz damage reduction, chance to block, chance to spread spell damage, and a 10% reduced crit damage per endurance charge. So you have 8 endurance charge. This is 80% critical strike damage reduction, which is close to crit immune. I'd say it's good enough. If you do want the last 20%, you can get the mastery right here. Instead of the 50% increase effect, you can take this right here to be completely crit immune. Up to you. Gloves. So non-volatile strike skills, target 2 additional enemies. Very good implicit, and so I want to use rare gloves over any unique gloves for speed clearing. I do think the setup is just way faster than Vaal Lightning Strike with perma hate forge, whatever, because the +2 strike skills is extremely good. And you don't get that with hate forge. I personally found like only clearing Vaal Lightning Strike can be a little bit slower. So yeah, this is why I went for the hybrid setup, which is like half Vaal Lightning Strike and half Lightning Strike. Besides that, these are very annoying to make, by the way. I would not try to make these one-to-one exact. Once again, I will have the crafting guide in the notes, but yeah, keep in mind these are really tedious and really annoying to make. The 50% increased damage hits against shield enemies can also be the fire damage against burning enemies on the suffix for the temple mod. Either or is good. For me personally, that increased damage hits against shield enemies was the better mod. It did give you more damage. But yeah, once again, these are very annoying to make and very expensive, but I will go over how to make that in the notes. Ralakesh. So big reason why I use Ralakesh is once again to ignore more tier 17 modifiers. If you don't have Ralakesh, then you can't do map modifiers that say wants to steal your endurance frenzy charges or cannot gain endurance frenzy charges, as those pretty much completely break your damage and defense. But with Ralakesh, you can skip all these tier 17 mods that like completely break your build. So yeah, that is the big reason why I use Ralakesh. They're very strong. It just allows you to do more tier 17 modifiers, which is the whole point of this build, is do as many tier 17 mods as I can. And I can pretty much do all of them outside of like the really annoying ones. Stuff like cannot damage 4 seconds out of 10 seconds, reduce action speed, etc. Right? Yoke of Suffering. This amulet is really good for 2 purposes. One is to increase damage for each type of ailment you have inflicted on enemy. We have at least 5 ailments. So you have Ignite, Chill, Shock, Poison, and Bleed. You get poison from a tattoo, and you get bleed from this bleed wheel down here. So yeah, it's 50% increased damage taken, which is essentially a 50% more multiplier, although it is additive with increased shock. But yeah, that's the other part of Yoke. It gives you a higher shock effect. So we're gonna have 44% increased shock, and we have 50% increased damage, making enemies take 94% increased damage, which is essentially 94% more damage. The other good thing about Yoke is giving you a ton of resist, which is something this build did tend to lack, because yeah, usually resist aren't a big issue, but once again, if you're trying to max juice maps, you are going to take these negative res altars, and you have to be overcapped resist. Have to be. Next would just be the ring. So this is the mirror ring. Now the mirror ring is the least required piece of this entire build. You can just make a budget ring. You can buy a +1 frenzy base and make a pretty similar ring, or just buy a amethyst ring with a fractured damage attack skills or tier 1 life, And yeah, either way, you can make a more budget ring of this. You don't need the exact ring. Whatever you want to do, +1 frenzy or a regular rare ring, it's up to you. The reason why we are using this over Tainment is for the negative mana cost. Without the negative mana cost, this skill would cost 27 mana, and that's just a little bit too much. 20 mana seems to be pretty much fine for me. 27 mana, yeah, a little bit too much. So yeah, Nimis, this just doubles your damage. Really, really good. I recommend a Catalyst for resist to uppercap for your resist for altars. Whoops, I actually swapped Mage Blood. Whoops. Back to Hunter. Yeah, anyway. Headhunter, of course, like I said, I do have a full Mage Blood POB. And if you want the Mage Blood POB, we'll leave it in the description down below. And then Standard Flask. One thing I want to talk about the Flask real quick. You got some flex options. This Granite Flask, you can make it just a Life Flask, which is what I'm doing right now, because tier 17s have a lot of dots, and having a instant Life Flask is kind of nice. Besides that, you can also try out a Soul Ripper with 40 charges used. This will just allow you to spam more Vaal Lightning Strike in your maps, and it'll also allow you to do like 4 Vaal Lightning Strikes on a boss while also spamming Lightning Strike, which will give you really insane boss DPS if that's something you want to do. And then yeah, besides that, once again, all the Abyss Jewels are just flat added damage. One of them has strength and one of them has intelligence to meet the attribute requirements. Just the way I'm fixing my spell suppression is by using all my dex tattoos for spell suppression. I have something like 15 spell suppression tattoos, and then the rest of the tattoos are going for resist to once again meet that overcap requirement. And as you can see, my fire resist is pretty much exactly cap without Dying Sun, and which is fine. You don't need to overcap your fire resist, because if you're doing Eater Altars, you don't get negative fire. You're gonna get negative cold and negative lightning resist. Yeah, Cluster Jewels, Phantom Blades plus Feet of Fury. This is the best combo. Plus from Proj is just way better for clearing and makes it more consistent for single target damage when using Nimis. That gives you random projectiles. Feet of Fury is just the highest single notable when playing Slayer. Gives you a ton of damage while leeching, and you're always leeching as Slayer. Besides that, I guess the Lethal Pride. This is the best Lethal Pride on Slayer Lightning Strike at least. It gives you 4 double damage and 2 rage on melee hit. So the 2 rage on melee hit is very, very nice. It allows you to stack to 30 rage way faster. So yeah, this is the best Lethal Pride. There are ones you can get pretty similar. You can get 3DD instead. You can get like 2DD and Intimidate. So you can get way cheaper ones than this. You don't need this one. This one probably costs like a 1 mirror or 2 mirrors or whatever. But yeah, this is the best one if you are wondering. It also solves your strength issues, of course. Second Cluster Jewel, same setup. And also for the Cluster Jewels real quick, the last, I guess, affix on its item is a suffix. So in this case, it's Smite the Weak. And this can be any suffix for Cluster Jewels. So there's 3 suffixes. There's Smite the Weak, there's Heavy Hitter, and there's Martial Prowess. So yeah, this can be any of those 3, and it needs to be one of those 3. So it's always in the last spot. So just keep that in mind for Cluster Jewels. You don't need Smite the Weak. This can be Heavy Hitter or Martial Prowess, and you get the exact same result. Since you're not taking it anyway, it doesn't really matter what this notable is. Instant Leech. So I decided to go for Instant Leech. This completely solves the less recovery maps, less recovery altars. Instant Leech solves all those issues. I highly recommend to get this. And last thing to talk about is this Proj Speed Mastery Wheel. Dagger Mastery. The reason why you want Proj Speed, it makes your game lag less. The reason for this is that the projectiles on your screen don't last as long. So if you have like 5 Vaal Lightning Strikes going off, and if you have no Proj Speed, there's just like twice as many Proj projectiles on your screen, which can make your game lag. So keep that in mind. This Dagger Mastery is very, very good. If you're all lagging, make sure to take this. The 1 Poison Tattoo. And I think that's about it. So real quick, I'll just show over the Mage Mod POP real quick. So as you see the defense right here, 232k EHP, 35k Fizz max hit, and like 84k LE max hit. Pretty good. I've been level on this character. I leveled from 98 to 99 yesterday, and all the way up to 43% EXP. I'll probably get level 100 today. So the character is extremely tanky. You are doing, max juice tier 17 maps. Probably the most dangerous mapping content in the game. So, if this build can survive this, then it can survive any type of map content in the game. But if you do want to play the Mage Mod version, it is way more tanky. Now we'll leave link in the description below. Just go over real quick. But yeah, Mage Mod version, it is less damage, but that's fine. Your damage is already pretty overkill. And as you can see, it's 52k Fizz max hit, 169k LE, and 400k EHP. Essentially, the only difference really is you're using the Utmost and using Tri LA Res Flask, and then you can also get Fizz taken as on your chest and Fizz taken as on your helmet. And it has less damage because you have to take this fortify wheel because you need to get fortified from somewhere. So you do miss a Bestial Socket. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's Soul character. Very, very happy with it. Extremely strong. I'm loving it quite a bit. We'll be playing it for quite a bit longer as well. Maybe do some more upgrades, change little things here and there. But for the most part, I would say the character is complete. I probably do need some corruptions as well, like on maybe Yoke or Ralakesh. But yeah, that's all. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment in the video. And once again, the crafting will be in the notes once I finish it.